Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and today we are making craft mats. I have two different kinds. I'm going to show you how to make both of them. The materials are pretty simple. We need some contact paper if you want to make one side waterproof, and we have some tape. We also need some paper bags. So I sort of collect my paper bags, and then when I have a few of them, we begin making our craft mats. The craft mats will last a little bit of time, but if they get heavily used, then it's time to discard them and make some new ones. I'm going to take off the handle off of the first bag. The second bag doesn't have a handle, and you can see the Lowe's bag is much bigger. But we're going to start by separating the bag down the part that's glued together. Once we get to the bottom of the bag, I'm going to tear the bottom part of the bag just so that it makes it a little bit easier for me to cut along the base of the paper bag. So I'm going to cut along the base so that I can remove that part. It's going to leave the end a little bit jaggy. That's okay. We're going to clean that up a little bit later. The Lowe's bag was a little bit bigger. We're going to fold it in half. I do have a bone folder to help with the creases, but you can also use your fingernail or the edge of a ruler as well. So I'm going to make sure that that's nice and flat. And for this first one, I'm going to add some contact paper. So I'm going to cut it so that it's a little bit bigger on all sides. Gently peel back the contact paper. You don't want to bend the contact paper. You want to keep this as smooth as possible. I'm going to start by lining it up at the very top and then carefully working my way across the top so that we don't have any air bubbles. And you do want to work from one corner to the other. You don't want to stretch it too much. At the very end, I'll show you one that I did not do it so well, and there ended up being some air bubbles and the contact paper ended up getting torn a little bit. So you just want to gently go through removing a little bit of contact paper at a time until it's all off and nice and smooth. I'm using the back of a ruler just to make sure that it's well adhered, but you want to go gentle with this. If you go too hard, you will damage your contact paper. The next thing I want to do is trim off the excess contact paper. You could fold it over, but I find that the contact paper is not as sticky and as well adhered as the tape itself. So you just want to remove all of those edges and make sure you have a clean edge before you add your tape along all four sides. I'm using this green tape, which is a very sticky tape that you can find at the hardware store. They come in different types, and this is the one that's especially grippy. Now, since we have our paper bag folded in half, we do need an edge just to keep those pieces together. Now, you certainly could have your paper bag open and make an extra large mat, but I found that this size works really well. It's a good size to sit at a child's desk, and it's usually the right size for most of our projects. So I'm going to add the tape all around all four edges, and that way we have a nice border and it keeps those two pieces of paper bag together. So it's a nice weight for a mat, and one side has the contact paper, which means you can use it for paint, or if it does get extra dirty, it's a little bit easier to wipe it down. And then the other side just has the regular paper bag, and this is fine for most projects as well, but you won't be able to clean it up. So I want to show you one of the things that we use with the side that is a contact paper side. I added some ink, or you could add paint, watercolors, and you can use it as a surface for your paint or watercolors, and then once you're done, it wipes up really easily. I like this as an option, and I actually like the contact paper in general, even when we're working with other kinds of craft materials, because it does wipe up pretty good. Now, you could do both sides with contact paper if you wished, or both sides without contact paper. So we have another one here, and this time I am going to use the purple tape. And this particular tape is not as sticky, and it feels a little more like washi tape. And it's great for more delicate projects, but it was a tape that I had on hand and I ended up not liking it as well for this kind of project. I prefer the tape that's a little bit more grippy. You could use regular masking tape, but I was at the hardware store and had a variety of tapes, so I thought I would share with you different kinds of tapes and how they work for a project like this. In the end, the masking tape, the blue tape, or the green tape are my favorite for this kind of project. But here's one that's a lot easier to do because it's just front and back regular without the contact paper. And of course, I've got the ones with the contact paper. And this is one that didn't work so well. You can see that I kind of damaged the contact paper in the front. And the contact paper is not sticking to the paper bag because there were some air bubbles in there that just did not get evened out. So now I have a bunch of new craft mats for my students, which is perfect. It doesn't take long to make when you are not using contact paper, but it does make them more versatile when you do use contact paper. And other than the cost of the tape, this is a very affordable project, so I do hope that you'll try it out. I hope you enjoyed this simple tutorial on making craft mats. Don't forget to check out the blog post that accompanies this video where you can find more photos, written instructions, and links to the products I used. You can find the link to that blog post in the description box below. And if you'd like to see how we're using these craft mats in our homeschool on a daily basis, you can find me on my website at pepperandpine.com.